Answer, because you are that, you are capable, you are gifted, and you are soaring to be opinionated. It's okay to be different, and it's so okay to just be. The world awaits to receive you.
Blessings, blessings. I'm not going to be on. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to be on the screen right now, guys. I'm not ready. But I did want to stream live tonight. Instead of missing the Thornton Township meeting, we will be streaming live using your favorite survivor stream. I want to say shout out to her. We have her information at the bottom. We're going to put on the screen. I'm just going to creep in the background, play some music for you guys, get the tone going, and see how things are going to happen today. With our new supervisor in place. Our new supervisor is Napoleon. So we're going to check the.
This time we're going to open it up for public comments.
Public comments, you have 3 minutes. Paul Robert.
Good evening, neighbors.
Good evening.
I wish to use my time before you to speak to those who may not have been participants in township board meetings for the last year or so. After decades of perfunctory meetings with rubber stamp boards, Thornton Township all of a sudden became newsworthy. As criticism of the previous supervisor grew, there were times when that administration excluded the public from board meetings or assaulted or took to court those who spoke publicly against the previous administration. After the feds delivered subpoenas, 2 trustees decided to represent the residents instead of the supervisor, and board meetings became contentious and viewed worldwide. When township board meetings became too dangerous for some of the trustees or the township attorney to attend in person, we residents noticed that local, county, and state law enforcement still ignored our pleas for help. Many of us wondered then if higher level county or state politicians condoned corruption in Thornton Township government when they told us to wait for the feds or to wait for the election. Well, for the first time in 30 years, most township officers in the 2025 general election did not run unopposed. Some of us hoped that Thornton Township might become a democracy instead of a dictatorship. Unfortunately, 85% of registered voters did not vote for anyone. The question is, how can the board best learn the needs of the residents they are supposed to serve, knowing that their overwhelming choice for township supervisor was none of the above? Will you at least schedule a time when the public can ask you questions, like what the Dolton trustees have been doing every month? My first 3 questions are: 1, last year, we demanded a 3-year forensic audit of every township department. Although the board approved this 8 months ago, there has been no RFP. Number 2, why haven't the trustees mentioned anything about the process to prepare this year's budgets, which I believe should be up for vote this week? Lack of budget and no audited financial records were the previous board's reasons for not authorizing activities that are like some of those up for vote on today's agenda. 3, in the March 2024 election, we voted for the establishment of a second township-funded food pantry, but no one ever followed up. There already exist several well-managed food pantries in Thornton Township. Might it be more efficient to evaluate those we have already and then subsidize an existing one instead of starting from nothing with a new food pantry managed by political appointees? I look forward to your responses. Thanks.
Next up, Mr. Burke. Sorry, Mrs. Burke.
Good evening to all my Thornton Township neighbors. My name is Renew Burke, and I am a resident of Thornton Township now for close to 40 years. Originally, I lived for 8 years in Dolton before moving to South Holland, where I currently reside. basically put my name down to speak today because I have been such a long-standing person in this community, and for the last 3 years, I was almost unable to attend a board meeting just based on how it affected my health. I am looking forward to working with a new board. I'm looking forward to having all the things that have gone on for the last 3 years continue to be in the rearview mirror for Thornton Township. I don't have a list of things. I have things in my head, and you'll see me at future meetings, and I look forward to it.
Mr. Dan Lee.
Did anyone else notice how everyone was smiling when you got here today? You have no idea how good that feels. But there are a couple of things that I was wondering about. That forensic audit that was mentioned by Mr. Roberts, is it possible to get updates on that monthly, at least on the website, if not here at the meetings? Because that, to me, is one of the main things that we need to do to move forward. We can't do anything unless we know how we stand financially and have it confirmed. Secondly, the Senate having an election pretty soon. There were several candidates out there that are asking for our votes. This is what I'm thinking. Since we're only going to do one meeting a month for the next June, July, and August, I'm thinking that possibly, since they want our vote, come here and tell us what the hell you're going to do for us. A lot of them did not show up doing all our turmoil over the last several years. And I saw a whole bunch of them waiting in line for chicken at the inauguration. Enough of that, okay? You want our vote, show up and show out. Show us what you're gonna do and let us know that you're not gonna disappear when the cameras disappear.
Say that.
And I have a question about one item on the ordinance, on the agenda. Ordinance 24007, item B. I don't quite understand. I understand that had been rescinded and it's going to be reversed, or maybe I have that wrong, I don't know. But I would, if you get a chance, you can explain that. I can't be the only one that doesn't know what that is. I have no clue as to what the heck that's all about. And it was really nice to see the unity between Thornton Township and some of our newly elected Dolton officials at the parade on Memorial Day. We need more of that. We ought to schedule some joint ventures, not just with Dolton, but whoever gets elected and whatnot, we can get out there and meet the people together, and that can only help our community. So that was really nice to see, all those smiling faces, Thornton Township and Dolton, and nobody was fighting, nobody was arguing, everybody was smiling, and everybody was happy. It's not going to always be that way, but hell, we can hope, can't we?
Absolutely.
And this is from a young lady asked me to ask you all, that west side door that says go around to the front to get in. Some folks park on that side. Is it possible to get that manned and open, for some people that have access, could have better access to get in and out of the building? That's something that might be helpful on the agenda going forward. Okay, I won't waste any more of your time, but just some items that are, off the top of my head.
Sometimes they put it on the meeting and they really don't have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they have to put it on every.
All right, y'all. I do apologize if it was hard to hear. I think it was their mics. That was a pretty short meeting. They ran through that like swimwear. All right, so shout out to your favorite survivor. That was her stream. Thank you. I do want to address some things. But I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to address some things. But Weedman being appointed the administrator really put a smile on my face because she really deserved it, and she worked really hard for Thornton Township. And she was one of the first few whistleblowers. So when he made his speech and she wasn't nominated at that time, I would assume, but something changed. God be the glory. So I think me just seeing that and hearing that, I believe is going to be more of a check and balance system. I will hope. Um, that ordinance, and I'm glad Dan Lee brought it up. This is why I had said something in the beginning, and there's a recession of the ordinance regulating the use of the township merchandise for personal promotion. And you remember that they put that on because of Tiffany Henyard and her daggone spending. But it is a little biased that they rescinding it right now, because it was a big problem when she was doing it. But I will say she was putting a stain on. She's putting a stain on it. So that was one of the things that I was questioning. So shout out to Dan Lee for continuing to just be on it. You see what I'm saying? And as he said, they're throwing subliminal messages out. Dan Lee and Mr. Roberts. Because Dan Lee was like, show up and show out and show us like what you're doing. Not he didn't directly address that to Napoleon, but the people are making Napoleon aware that he has to be involved as far as communicating with people. They're looking to hear certain things from him and be involved. Like they want to be involved. Also, you heard Mr. Roberts. He was like basically the state reps didn't step in when Tiffany was doing all of this. Everybody was really quiet, like he, in all words, if y'all want to play his part again, and he did say that he looked forward to not having another.
After the feds delivered subpoenas, two trustees decided to represent the residents instead of the supervisor, and board meetings became contentious and viewed worldwide. When township board meetings became too dangerous for some of the trustees or the township attorney to attend in person, we residents noticed that the local, county, and state law enforcement still ignored our pleas for help. Many of us wondered then that higher level county or state politicians condoned corruption in Thornton Township government when they told us to wait for the feds or to wait for the election. Well, for the first time in 30 years, most township officers in the 2025 general election did not run unopposed. Some of us hope that Thornton Township might become a democracy instead of a dictatorship.
Did you not? That's why I just let it play out. He highlighted that he was like that. Most people ran unopposed, and we will hope that it don't turn into a dictatorship. So, we're gonna pay attention to some of the things that's rescinded. Some of the things that's just because this was straight yes, yes, yes. Now I already highlighted that they increased the budget for the activities for bingo because y'all was complaining about what type of stuff Tiffany was buying, and she had a $4,000 budget per bingo game. That's what it was looking like, and then we were calculating it, and she was within budget for a little while, and then it was like 4 or 5 months she was just rocking out, but. Just definitely let's just pay attention. I want everybody to stay on point, just like Mr. Roberts. Shout out to him.
Unfortunately, 85% of registered voters did not vote for anyone. The question is, how can the board best learn the needs of the residents they are supposed to serve, knowing that their overwhelming choice for township supervisor was none of the above?
Ooh.
Will you at least schedule a time when the public can ask you questions?
See, y'all ain't hear that. When I said y'all hear it and it cut, he said he was like, when nobody chose for none of the above. When could we really talk? So I pray that they open the lines of communication and he start doing like some tea with the supervisor or something, because I do believe it's a line of communication that has to still be open.
Like what the Dolton trustees have been doing every month. My first 3 questions are: 1, last year we demanded a 3-year forensic audit of every township department. Although the board approved this 8 months ago, there has been no RFP. Number 2.
Remember, I'm glad he brought it back up.
Why haven't the trustees mentioned anything about the process to prepare this year's budgets, which I believe should be up for vote this week? Lack of budget and no audited financial records were the previous board's reasons for not authorizing activities that are like some of those up for vote on today's agenda.
He called it out. He's right.
3, in the March 2024 election, we voted for the establishment of a second township-funded food pantry, but no one ever followed up. There already exist several well-managed food pantries in Thornton Township. Might it be more efficient to evaluate those we have already and then subsidize an existing one instead of starting from nothing with the new food pantry managed by political appointees? I look forward to your responses.
Ooh. He said the new pantry being controlled by political appointees. So I'm going to just leave that where Mr. Roberts dropped it. He dropped it with a smile, respectfully. So I'm going to have to give it to, excuse me, Dan Lee and Mr. Roberts for definitely staying focused and asking the questions that needs to be asked. I think what smoothed things out at the end, because I was like, wait, y'all running through this and no answers, no questions being answered again. And it looks like the activity budget compared to what we looked at before has increased. And you remember I said, hey, the unaudited budget that they showed us, if you look at the activity section, it doesn't have a lot in it. So it looked like they're waiting for the new administration to come in to structurize that, which makes sense. But did they do that? I'm going to look. We're going to look to see if it's updated from the last time we looked, okay? Because it has been updated twice, the unaudited budget that they put out there. So just throw it in. I need you guys to stay woke. This was a great meeting. I'm glad I attend. Short and to the point, drama-free and respectable. We will be live back on Thursday or Friday. We're going to get into the S. Hobson clips. I'm about to drink my tea and watch these videos. Y'all pray for me. You know what I'm saying? Because watching it a lot live and uncut is a lot. We do ask you guys to help us with the butterfly release that's coming up July 27th. You can donate $4 for a butterfly with a message, and we'll read it live on this platform on the 27th. We're going to have vendors. We already have vendors signed up. It's going to be a great event. And so I'm grateful. The information is located on our under the video. I'll put it under the video, and you can always look at our old posts. So I will see you guys later on this week. Thank you for being with Grace D. Levi and doing what I love to do. But until then, you know what's going on.
Guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany A. Hilliard, the People's Mayor. So, you guys doing a lot of snitching.
Don't let my snitching fool you. I love a good jam. And I'm S-I-N-G-L-E again. Outside hanging out the window with my wretched ass friends. Let's go!
Go, Karen.
Let's go!
Karen.
Don't let my snitching fool you.
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. Nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long. I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. Live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't know.
Boys, I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
Public comment, and she'll just put her head down and she won't listen to anything. She won't acknowledge anything. I've seen mothers of murdered children and people who've lost family members in Dolton. She'll put her head down and she will not even acknowledge that the person is there.